Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 for Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. The market is moving fairly in line with what I have been presenting in terms of next moves. We did end up seeing some rally today, and at points it's like, okay, great, they were pushing up here in the S&P. And got up almost, I think they did get actually to 41.58. I was going to say they got above 41.50. Now, starting here on the 4-hour chart, same pattern. And what I've done, and I will drop down and show you, is that I went back and now just putting on, again, remember, I've run a couple of counts side by side. Both have the same outlook, but on a very near-term basis, like on an hourly basis, there might be some nuances, some differences. And as a day trader, I think that's kind of more interesting and more important to know. So bear with me. I'm going to drop down to the hourly chart and give you kind of the skinny on what I think is going on. So again, going back to the other where minor wave A is complete. Now, again, just to review the slightly larger picture, the high from August the 16th came in at 42.27.50, 43.27.50. And that then completed intermediate wave A. We are in off of the 36.39 low in a primary B wave, which is a counter trend. So it's going to be A, B, C. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. That's kind of the plan, but we're within the intermediate degree B wave down. So there's always going to be, if we're counting A, B, C, that's what we're doing on a bigger scale to produce the B wave. So, and what's inside that B wave? An intermediate degree A, B, and C. So we're in that middle part. It's counter trend to what the outside part is doing. But inside there, if this low, now this is where the difference is. There's a difference right there between the S&P and the Nasdaq. But in the S&P, if I were to put the minor wave A here at the low that we saw in Globex at 41.14. As the point where minor wave A finished, right? So then we get a little bit of a minor wave B rally, and then we still get another leg down to complete. And I know it's a ton of Bs, a ton of As, a ton of Cs, but follow them because they're in degrees. So I'm going to be able to also tell you which degree. So again, intermediate, minor, minute, and then the small ones I'll leave as just small. So intermediate, minor, minute. So those colors are the minute. The saddle brown color is the minor. Within this intermediate B wave, which is going to be down, we have a minor wave A. Now we're likely putting in a B, and then we have a C wave down. Projections continue to indicate that we'll likely end up down here before we turn again and move. Now, tomorrow, Friday, I believe they may try to make an attempt to get above here and get up towards 4,200. And that would put us in line with the hourly 200 EMA. That makes sense to me. It would be kind of a finishing move to kind of bounce off of this was pretty strong decline that we've had already and bounce up right there. Now let's just see, because I can run one more set of Fibonacci retracements again. So we're working on retracements. And those retracements are just going to be for the upside move. Now, B waves. Well, we're counting a B wave down. So this one's going up, but it's going to have the same Fibonacci's. And the 50% sits right there at 42.20. Now, if it's going to rally that much, and I could do it in one day, but there's nothing really to give it that squeeze, to give it that motivation for shorts to cover here and longs to move out. And so what I have been noticing is a lot of the bounces right now, the pullbacks, the fourth waves, They're not as strong. We did have that little bit of a push today. And let me just open that up a little bit and do that a little bit. It was right here. And it started at 41.36, and that's one that ran up to 57. That was the biggest rally that we had of the day in terms of within an hour. You had that kind of a move. It was fairly choppy again today. So the trading has not been good. Look at these moves. I mean, yeah, it's angling down, of course. And if you sat with it and you didn't care, you got more money. But the internals were chopped. Now, what can I look for tomorrow? Well, I believe that it should continue to move higher. But we have the resistance at 41.65. And again, that is Fibonacci resistance. But it's for that move up. It's for the B wave up. So it fits. But then we have here, again, 382 for a small little minor B wave. Sure. 382 to 50%. Sure. So as we come around, we can see that we have the 200 at 41.94 and then 4,200 right there, plus 41.95, which is a fib. Now, as weak as these bounces have been, that would be weak for the B wave. Retracing only 3.382 versus 0.5 to here. This is the norm. You'll see this more, but this can be. It will depend on structure. And so right now I'm saying A, B, and then maybe we get a C wave, a little C wave that gives us a little push. And then that completes the bounce that we've been looking for several places here. And in the Nasdaq still is possible. So it's going to be an interesting dichotomy with these two indexes because they're so much in tune with one another because of the weighting of some of these larger tech titans. Okay, so for tomorrow, I would think that we start to prepare. We're looking at what a Friday's expiration might look like. And again, the big movers are going to be, they're going to be Apple, they're going to be Amazon, they're going to be Google, they're going to be Meta, Microsoft, etc. They will carry more weight. NVIDIA does too, but it's down the ladder just a little bit, not a lot, but a little. Next, Netflix has been catching some fire too. So, I mean, those are some of the background, and that is also causing the chop. So we may see that as well. So for tomorrow, keep an eye on both directions, obviously. But if the market's going to start to break down from here, again, it should go pretty quick. And again, it should start to break below these moving averages. And that's at 41.47. That would be the 50 EMA. Then we got a rising 4, we got a rising 8, and a rising 20. So they're getting ready to cross here. And that would, if we can get the 4, we get the 8 back above the 50 EMA, because they now crossed the SMA, 20's just doing it. That could really bring about a little bit of a boost, more buyers, and they just start moving back in. And then we get up to those upper levels. So let me close that up a little bit. And there you have it. Double we have there, 236 and a double 236 at 41.65. All right, moving over to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, same story, but guess what? It did not make a new low there. I can, in a stretch, move it over, and I may, because I think it runs more clean. If I do it on a just on a, that was the extreme, but the bars both pretty much 12,845. And if I move over here, this low, that low was 12,831. Yeah. I'm glad I did that. And you guys are all witnessing. Here we go. I'm going to move this over. So once again, this is great because now they are back in sync. So strange things shouldn't happen. They should continue to be strange together, I guess. Okay, so if I am here and not putting that there, so now I got to move this. I got to put a 4 up there. Whoops, get rid of that. I'll fix that in a minute. Let's just go over this. So this turns into a 5. And that is the 5. No, it's the C wave. Leaving it. Sorry. I need to put the 3 here, and the 4 and the 5. So, in any case, this is now part of that B wave, and it's going to be the same thing. So, what are we looking for here in the Nasdaq? We'd be looking for 13,000. I kind of went up and touched it, got it goosed, went above it a couple times. But that's where we start to run into resistance, and 13,110 is a clean stop. We're getting ready to, again, hourly chart, open it up. We're getting ready to start to break above these moving averages. In fact, we have dipped back below, now sitting between them. So with the bias, if it can turn to the upside, but now we do have NVIDIA. NVIDIA is now down about 8 from where it closed. And the reality is, it's like, okay, so were they expecting a different result when the company came out and gave the results before? Were they expecting a different result? It kind of is surprising. I don't know. In any case, same story. If it starts to break down, it's got to bust out of that. And let me just redo these a little bit so that I can be a little bit clearer on what we're doing here. Right, so there's the A, and then an A and a B. We might have one little bit more downswing, but I think it should hold above 12,822, which is the low thus far, right in there. To hold above it, because we need that continued rally. We need one more little pop higher to finish this move. And again, this would be a minor wave. So a minor wave B should definitely kind of get up here. And that would actually coincide with getting up to that 200. If these can successfully get themselves above, then it has a shot. It has a shot to get up there. And breaking down again, if I take this back and put this on as a 4, even though it did break, then we could still come down, get back down to here, and then put in a B wave. So all these options are still out there, but it just depends on what the market wants to do. So why I'm presenting all of these options is so that when it does happen, you're like, oh yeah, we talked about that. Okay, here we go. So this is what I should look for. These are the types of moves, and this is what I'll follow. If the market starts to break down, instead of saying what I think is going to happen, it's like, well, I don't have a crystal ball. I can give you what the signs are telling me, what the indicators are telling me, and what probability we can have. And from there, we trade. But the trade's been pretty choppy. The trade is definitively in the futures market been very choppy. Day trading has not been easy. Things get run around, and if you're trading a smaller account, it's really become even more difficult. So with a little bit more money in your account, you can sit through stuff. You can take a little bit more risk here and there to give this thing room, because it's been jumpy in both directions. Even though you look at it and it's like, wow, that's quite a nice decline. And if you caught those points, you made money there. But this is an hourly chart. So within that hour, it was not fun. It was not good trading. Okay, so for tomorrow, it continues. Everything's going to be A's of this, of that A, of this B, of that. So we're counting ABCs. Those are the structures du jour. We're counting ABCs from now until this is all done. So yes, we will have 5-wave moves, but the majority are going to be, because C waves are 5, but the majority are going to be, they're all going to be ABCs, of which the 5-wave would be a part of the ABC. All right, so for tomorrow, I think, yes, we leave these options open. The rally has to catch fire. That's been the problem. It has not been doing that. So these bounces are minimal, sub-minimal. And again, we've been here, and then all of a sudden something happens and this thing catches fire and it just goes. Now that I'm not really looking for, but none of it can really be discounted. I mean, I can't say for certain that this move, I can put a B down there, an intermediate B, and we're just now going to rally all the way and be done with this whole thing. Get up there, finish the C wave, intermediate C, finish the primary B, and then fall off the cliff. It's all out there, but this is what's stopping us, folks. There's no interest. There's nothing to promote buying or selling. So retail, we're sitting there. We're just like, okay, where are the big boys? What do they want to do? Because that's essentially who you're going to follow. And so we need the market movers to come on and make their decision. Okay, so if we do make the decision for the downside, it's going to break on an hourly chart. It's going to break through these moving averages and it's going to go. I take it out to the daily chart, give it a little shove to this side so we can open that up a little bit. Same deal, right? Here's the primary A. We got a primary B to finish. Primary B, the C wave of primary B tells me we need to get back above 13,741. Put a new high in and then kiss it all goodbye, as whatever comes next in terms of what's going to cause it will occur. The wave pattern tells you that. And so I'm going to stick with it. So anyway, right now, let's get through this small stuff. Not going to be easy trading. This is a particular typical volume-wise sudden burst. Suddenly it's like it's dropping down $10 or $20 and then it's rallying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so next update will be on Thursday, the 25th.